out there. It's really beautiful. That's the one that I mentioned that, they could have built a fortress there, but they decided here on Alcatraz, if this building was not here, you could see the Golden Gate Bridge just directly in front of Alcatraz.
Wow.
Alright, so this is the far north end of the island. That building is called the Model Industry Building. That building was actually made when this was a military prison, and the military prisoners worked in there. Well, when the island became a federal prison island, it became back to they still use it for their federal prisoners to work. However, on the other side, not a secure building for having the most infamous prisoners of the country. On the other side, we have that cliff. Plus, it was much more dangerous for the guards because they could not supervise that back side of the building. There's no road, no sidewalk. So that building was used from 34 until 41. Because that's when they built this pink building you see over here. That's called the New Industry Building. Well, the federal prisoners that worked in this building from 34 to 41, one of them tried to escape. 4 escape attempts occurred in there. 2 of the prisoners were murdered in that building. And 1 guard was also murdered in there as well. That's why they decided to make this pink building, the New Industry. It was safer because there was a sidewalk on the other side, and they designed it with a gun gallery. So we'll eventually go in there. But the model industry, in 1937, the second escape attempt that occurred on Alcatraz. It involved 2 men. It was Theodore Cole and Ralph Rowe. And they decided to saw the bars on a window. Now, if you look right where that portable bathroom is, the porta potty, that blue thing, right behind that was their workshop. Now, Theodore Cole and Ralph Rowe decided to saw the bars on a window, and that window faced the Golden Gate Bridge, the bay. Now, whenever the guard counted the prisoners in that building, 1 guard would have to go to 1 workshop and count the prisoners in that workshop area. That same guard would have to go to another workshop and count the other prisoners. Then another workshop and count the other prisoners. So no one was supervising the previous workshop for at least 30 minutes. That's when they decided to saw the bars on the window. No one was watching them. So they decided to saw the bars on the window. They got it to a point where it was so weak that they could just pop it open. So on a really foggy December morning, they decided to escape. They popped the bars open. They broke through the window. They jumped out and jumped off the cliff. Now when the guard came back 30 minutes later, realized that they were missing, the only way to search for them was by boat. Because remember, there's no road or sidewalk on the other side of that building, just a cliff. So they had to get a boat from the dock area down below and bring that boat around. A lot of time went by. In fact, right where you see that bird on the rooftop, there was a guard up there, and he was told to look over on the other side of the building to see if he could see the men. He couldn't even see the water from there, let alone 2 bodies in the bay, because of how foggy it was. So they searched and searched for Theodore Cole and Ralph Rowe. They never found those 2 prisoners. They were the first unaccounted prisoners of Alcatraz. They never found their bodies, so we can't say that they died. But they don't have any proof that they actually survived out there as well. Now, some of the possibilities could have been that they hit the rocks and drowned, or the currents could have pulled their bodies underneath the Golden Gate Bridge and out into the ocean. Or there could have been a boat out there in the bay. It was really foggy. It could have helped them. We don't know what happened to them. But they would be over 100 years old, so the U.S. Marshals are not looking for them. Unlike the other 2 that escaped in 62, the other 3 that escaped in 62, then that marshal's still looking for them. Now, the next year, 1938, there was another escape attempt. This one involved 3 men. It was Thomas Limerick, James Lucas, and Rufus Franklin. They were all working in the same workshop, right where that portable bathroom is. They had the same idea, saw the bars on the window. Well, the guard came back to their workstation sooner than they expected. His name was Officer Klein. So Officer Klein comes back to their station. He notices that they're trying to escape. Rufus Franklin panics. He grabs a hammer and he clubs Officer Klein in the skull, killing the officer in that building. The three men managed to go all the way to the roof of that building, right where the guard house would have been, right where that bird is right now. They were going to hold the guard as a hostage in order to get to San Francisco. But the guard, Officer Stites, he saw them before they saw him. He quickly grabbed his rifle and started firing at them. He shot Thomas Limerick in the head, killing him instantly. He shot Rufus Franklin on both shoulders, and James Lucas surrendered. So James and Rufus had to serve life in prison because they murdered Officer Klein in that building. Now, Officer Klein did not have any weapons. They could have tied him up, they could have held him in one of the storage areas, but instead they decided to kill him. And the reason it was because a lot of these men were so desperate. Remember, the prisoners were brought on Alcatraz because they were so badly behaved in other prisons. They were brought out here. They had to prove that they could be good prisoners in order to be transferred back to another prison. From there, they could get parole. So they were never going to get paroled from here. They were never going to see San Francisco being here on Alcatraz, no matter how well they behaved. So we're going to go into one of my favorite areas. It's the bottom level of the new industry building. Now this road that you're on right now, we're actually going to go into a tunnel. There are a total of 4 tunnels on Alcatraz. We're going to go to the longest one, which is not very long at all. It's only from here to the industries building. And I'll explain what the purpose of the tunnel was. When you go down the staircase, please use this handrail. And do not go into the powerhouse. There are a lot of hazards in there. But we'll talk more about that area when we head down there.